Hi everyone, happy Thursday. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Kirstie. I make lifestyle vlogs, favorites, lookbooks, etc. I am an early 20-something-year-old living in New Jersey. I just moved from Brooklyn, New York City. I now live in New Jersey. I live on, I have my own apartment, and today I'm going to be talking about career. So last video was a sit-down video like this where I talked about just myself, getting to know me, and where I'm at in my life right now. And after that, someone who is my friend messaged me about my video, just piqued her interest about my career and how I got to be where I am right now. And that's insight that I would love to share. So I have it on my phone. We are going to be talking about the groundwork of how I've networked and how I've transitioned careers from vet medicine to business startups. So into a career where everyone has a degree and is male dominated. I do not have a degree. I dropped out of college after a semester. No, wait, not even half a semester. So I dropped out of college after half a semester. I just knew it was not for me. And I knew that there's possibilities and opportunities for me outside of college. Even though at the time it was kind of, I wouldn't say it was like accepted or acceptable that I stopped going to college, especially because I'm first generation Filipina. Just so you guys know, I'm first generation. Everyone in my family has degrees, but I really just, from the beginning, had a vision and believed in myself. Not necessarily the logistics, so it's not like I had a clear, super clear cut plan, but just some background. I worked in retail and at daycare, so I was a daycare assistant teacher, and then from retail I wanted to transition into vet medicine. So what I did was, I lived on Long Island at the time. I searched up a bunch of veterinary clinics and kind of did that old school walk-in. So I just walked in, gave my resume, and tried to talk to anyone as high up as I can, like a vet or the lead vet tech or the manager of the practice. And I was like, I don't know anything. I have 2 rescue dogs, but I want to learn. I'm eager to learn. So teach me. And that's basically how I got started. I was in traditional veterinary medicine, and then I transitioned to a holistic vet medicine practice, and that's where I've really learned everything, just the groundwork of like how to do blood work and yearly exams for dogs and cats, and then holistic nutrition and wellness and food choices for your dog. So that's how I've learned so much for Beacon and Bella. And then after a year and a half, I wanted to transition out of vet medicine and into startups. So what I did was I cold emailed people. LinkedIn is going to be your best friend, especially as you're building your career, and it's a good platform to use to network, build your connections, and to see what's out there too. Just see what other companies are doing, the kinds of positions that they're hiring for, and then from there you can see what you really want to do. So I cold emailed people. I knew which startups I wanted to work for, so I found contacts on LinkedIn. So I found higher up people in those said organizations and startups. So I would find the CEO or the founder or the COO and message them and say, I don't have any experience, but I have transferable skills and I have the attitude. I really want to work. I really want to learn. So basically I was just hoping someone would take a chance on me, and that's exactly what happened. So I landed a phone interview and an in-person interview for a couple of the startups after cold emailing and reaching out. And then this one startup, which was my first startup that I've ever worked at, called Pet Plate. They're a subscription-based healthy dog food subscription service. And because of that, I really leveraged my skills from vet medicine. I let them know that I have knowledge on vet medicine, holistic nutrition and wellness, and because of that I would understand the demographics and understand customer experience and communications and marketing from a different standpoint. That's what I work in right now, by the way. I work in customer experience, brand and communications marketing. So I leveraged the skills I already had, even though I've never worked in a startup or in business at that point, I leveraged those skills. And then you really have to, in the interview process, you really need to show up. So you really need to, one, be confident, fake it till you make it. So I was never always confident, but I've always believed in myself, and that really resonates with people. So I landed the in-person interview and I ended up making a pamphlet. And instead of just a regular resume and cover letter, I made a pamphlet that had photos of me and Beacon and Bella and my philosophy on dog nutrition and wellness and customer experience and marketing. So I tailored it to what the position was going to be. And by the way, you do not need to wait for companies to have a job listing of what you're looking for. This company that I started at and was my first go at startups, they were not hiring at the time. I pitched them this role and they reached back out to me because sometimes companies don't know what they need, and it's nice for them to see an outside perspective and how someone on the outside would be able to contribute to the growth and success of the business. So that's what I did. You really have to walk in there and be confident, really own your truths, and in the interview process, make it a conversation, and let them really know what you have to offer them, how you would be an asset to them and their growth. So that's what I did. And then after that, I transitioned to another startup where I've been able to work my way up. I am in a management role right now. So just really using and leveraging those skills. I, in that first startup, was the youngest person there. I was 19. Everyone else was later 20s at least. The next youngest person was 27, and everyone had a degree there. But I will say, I don't want to say like you should or shouldn't go to college, because everyone is different. Everyone has a different experience, and people go to school for different reasons. But I really want people to understand that education and learning is not just in the school system. The formal school system, I mean. You can be learning all the time. I am a forever learner, and you can really leverage your skills and be anything that you want to be. I always say that someone can have X, Y, and Z technical skills, but you can't really teach someone to really want to learn and be interested. That's really what drives key people in the business. That attribute alone, just being eager to learn and being adaptable, being coachable, that is everything, no matter how senior you become in your position. So even though I didn't have a degree, when I was sending my resume and my cover letters and interviewing with different people, I didn't let that be focused through a lens of a deficit. So I tried to, as much as possible, make it seem like that wasn't a deficit, because I truly did not feel that way. And to that point, we really have to think about the way we present ourselves to companies. And then just in general, for if you're thinking about if you should or shouldn't go to college, of course, hard sciences, like if you're going to become a nurse or a doctor, you need a degree. If you're going to be a lawyer, you have to have a degree, and or some sort of certification. But I would really look into, like, if you're into computers, and like software engineering, I would look into certifications versus a 4-year degree. So right now, especially in the startup world and just business in general, software engineers are so invaluable, and everyone needs one. So that, I'm not saying you should do that because it's in high demand, but I'm saying it's something to consider if you're interested in it, to look at other options than just a 4-year degree, because one, it'll save you time. You can get into the workforce earlier. That's something that I'm so grateful for. At this time, around this time, I would be going into the workforce, because my graduating class would be graduating this year. I've been seeing people I went to school with, they're graduating this year, which is amazing. But I was able to enter the workforce when I was really young. I moved out at 18 after that half a semester of college. So I started working really young, and because of that, I was able to build my seniority and my experience earlier on than other people might have. But I also want you guys to know that I do consult and help with things like resumes, interviewing, pitching, and whatnot. So I don't want to give super specific information because everyone is different depending on what industry you're trying to get into, what positions you're trying to get into, if you're transitioning from a different industry, if you're starting fresh and you're going to be fresh out of school. But to that point, you really need to believe in yourself. That really, I feel like, was my bread and butter. I really believed in myself, and I could have looked at myself through a scarcity mindset, but instead I looked at my situation through an abundance mindset, because I could have said the competition is so fierce out there, everyone has a degree, how am I supposed to stand out? But if you really focus on yourself and your skills and what you can bring to the table, and just being eager to learn and come in with a positive attitude, that really resonates with people. And I will say, as a manager who interviews candidates, that is something that I look for. Yeah, you can have all the technical skills, you can have the degree for those technical skills, but you can't really teach someone to be coachable or eager to learn, or just believe in themselves. So those would be my tips. That is really what got me to where I am right now. Especially in the male-dominated industry, you cannot, as a woman, and especially as a woman of color, you can't allow other people to make you feel like you don't belong there. Like, you have to claim your own space. So that's just something that I want you guys to consider, especially when it comes to making a decision like going to school or not. Because some people are like, oh, I'm just going to do it, but 4 years is a good amount of time. So that's why I always say, if you want to go, then go. If you have to go for your career, then go. But if sometimes you just have to think about the bigger picture, you can always go back later if you're not sure. But I think it does make sense to kind of test the waters and see what you're capable of, and chase your dreams without feeling like you need to have a piece of paper to credit yourself with. So those are just things that I did when I was transitioning into business startups from vet medicine, and how I really leveraged myself without a degree when I was super young. I was really young. I was 19 when I started working in business startups. That's really, I haven't heard that before. And up until now, all my managers and directors and people that I've worked with have said that it's a really unique experience. But I don't want it to be a unique experience anymore. I want people to feel empowered and feel like they have options, and that college isn't the only way to get to where you want to be. But I hope that was helpful. I'm not sure if that was too vague or anything, but I really want to sit down and talk about all this. I feel like if it resonates with 1 or 2 people, then I'm glad that I shared my experience and yeah, just my experience with you guys. But I'm definitely going to make more videos like this, and I hope that it helped anyone at all. You can find me on my Instagram at Kirstie Simeone. I'll see you guys in the next vlog, and take care. Bye.